What's up, guys? How you doing? Legendary Talks here, episode 78. You know, that means we have episode 100 coming up in 22 episodes. Hey, Frank. Hey, Natasha. We have Alice Smith tonight, one of my favorite singers. What's up, Steve Malvin? Tomorrow we have Steve Malvin on the show. He's watching right now. Hey, Sydney. We have Alice Smith, one of my favorite singers. She's a really special, amazing little lady I can't wait to chat with. Hey, Claudine. How you guys feeling? What's up, Eddie? The whole crew. The Sunday crew. Everyone who's hanging out with on Sunday is here. It's hot today. Hope you guys are feeling good and cool, you know. Is anybody drinking? What are you guys drinking? If so, I have Belvedere and soda. Hey, Erica. Yes, Mike. What did I say, Steve? Mike. Mike Melvin is on tomorrow. Yes, I know. We have Mike Melvin, not Steve Melvin tomorrow. Anyway, so how you guys doing? What are you drinking? Prosecco, good. Frank, are you drinking? Sydney, what's up, guys? Hey, Gingy, long time no speak. Kimberly Nicole is visiting from London, amazing. 3 a.m. in London, drinking water. Good for you, Kim. Frank, what are you drinking? So yeah, Kimberly Nicole is actually an amazing singer as well, and I'd love to have you on, Kim, but I know that time is so weird, that London time. So if you want to come on, I'd love to have you on as well. One of my other favorite singers, Kimberly Nicole, another powerhouse. Let me see if Alice, let me text Alice. Oh. She just texted me. So yes, Alice is an amazing singer, like I said. And she's a really unique, amazing young lady. She's, of course. Erica, how are you? Erica Williams is, I think, how we met, and she's on here as well. Very excited to chat with the amazing Alice Smith. Yeah, Kim, if you want to come on, let's do it. It's just, I feel bad because you're in London. And Sydney, what are you drinking? No drink yet? This is my 78th episode. I can't believe it either. And I'm gearing up for my big 100th episode, which I'm very excited about. I'm getting it together now, and it's very exciting. All right, Alice has just joined, but I'm sure she doesn't know how to do this. So let me get her on here. Oh, crap. Uh-oh, hold on. I think that should work. Yes, perfect. I hope she has good Wi-Fi. Hi, babe. Wi-Fi. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh. Hold on.
How's your
Is that
Wi-Fi?
our connection?
Turn your Wi-Fi off. That might help. Are you on your phone?
Turn it.
We'll figure this out.
Is that better? Better?
Yes. Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
How are you, my
Cutie.
darling? Hi.
Good. Hi.
Hot enough for you today?
Huh?
Hot enough for you?
Yes.
I know. Okay, so Alice, as you know, you're one of my favorite singers. I've said it many times.
Well.
And I think you've watched a few of these. I'm not sure. I do this. It's called Legendary Talks. It's my First of all, what are you drinking?
Tequila and lime and salt.
Good. I have Belvedere and soda. Cheers.
Cheers. I can't believe you're drinking
So,
this. You drink.
so so it's called Legendary Talks, and basically we celebrate people that are really important to culture. I really have enjoyed doing these. It's my 78th episode. I'm very excited about it. And thought you'd be obviously a perfect person for many reasons, and I'm glad you're doing this. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
And I usually like to start off by asking each guest it's not a mirror. This is not a mirror, boo. Your hair looks good. I like to ask each guest to describe themselves. So let's say you're describing, I don't know you, describe yourself to me.
My name is Alice, and I'm a fabulous I'm a fabulous singer. I'm an even more fabulous mother. And that's it. I live in LA. I'm from DC. That's it.
Okay, that's good. That's better than I thought, to be honest. And listen, I know you well. That's more than I thought I was going to get. So, and then I want you to give me a little bit of your resume. You.
Resume? What's that mean?
Some career accomplishments, some things you've done.
Come on, Damon. You're trying to kill me.
I know. First of all, you could pass on that, actually. You don't have to do this. You of all people don't have to do this if you don't want to.
I don't have any accomplishments, David.
Well, shut up.
For
Okay.
many people. What am I talking about? I have one major accomplishment that I can think of, which is to have had Prince put my song on his album.
All right.
And to
Great.
have,
Thank you. That is amazing. Okay,
like
so
big.
that's not what you have a much more long, lengthy, amazing career. But anyway, so, okay, let's start from the beginning. You're from DC, right?
I'm from DC, yeah.
And then what do you think? Because I always think it's really, the younger years are really creatively informative, and they shape who you are as a creative adult. Those like 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old years, not even
Absolutely.
teenagers, before teenage, are so important to who we become as creative adults. So what do you think during that, or what during that time was the most influential thing about DC? How did it influence you the most?
DC, well, the biggest thing in DC is go-go music, right?
Yep.
And so certainly every drummer that I ever have, and really when I'm recording or writing songs, that's always informs my rhythm section.
Good.
Except that I also, just as a side note, love Brazilian rhythm. But what I think is interesting is that Brazilian music always makes me think of DC.
Interesting.
Very.
Cool.
And so it was mainly that would be the biggest musical influence, other than DC radio, which I think has always been so great.
Yeah, I always say I'm from Detroit, and Detroit radio was, to me, the best thing that ever existed.
Yeah,
so.
Crazy, right? When I first came to LA, I thought, oh, they got good radio. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. It's not as good as I thought it was either, but
yeah, I don't agree. I mean, I don't disagree, but I'm saying when I first came to LA, I thought, wow, they really just play West Coast rappers. Like, it's so weird. They just play, like, Snoop and Ice Cube and stuff. That's what I thought initially, but it's not bad. Yeah. I agree. Okay, so, and then what is something that you take with you at all times? Obviously, you said the, go-go music, but something that, like, a DC thing that stays with you at all times, even currently. Like, I'm from Detroit, and, people tell me all the time, I'm so Detroit, and to me, that's a great compliment right now. Yeah. Like, in my fabulous life, traveling the world, and not at this minute, but, like, in general, that I can remain Detroit in these situations is, like, kind of, I think, a great compliment. What about DC remains in your life at all times?
A lot of things, but I think the thing that it really is a rhythm thing, honest, and and the way people talk and interact is it's just a very real and natural kind of place. And then it's like, I mean, go-go music is a local, it's their shit. It's, it's our shit. And it's it permeates a lot of things. I mean, so
I think Detroit's a very
The party vibe, I think, is like the feeling that it's like, okay, we came to party. I think that's some real DC, and also just in some of the words in the conversation is like the accent is one of the best.
And well, go-go music is very party music for sure. It makes you want to physically get up and like
sweat. Yeah. No cute. Yeah, full party.
Go-go music reminds me of a sweaty party, kind of basement type party. Like real.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, like Detroit is a very musical town, and I believe that, for instance, stayed with me my whole life. And I think almost every person in Detroit, whether they are into music or not, they have good taste. They know good taste in music. Yeah. They really know. Whether they care or not, they actually know good music when they hear it. And Detroit will tell you if you're, the most famous thing in the world and have a terrible voice, they'll tell you you don't have a good voice. I love that. So
yeah, they'll tell you anything.
And then what's the first? Yeah. What's the first song that you really connected with as a young person?
I'm not good at, what do you call it? Is it biographical stuff? But I'll say what I think is, let me think, what's the first song I remember connecting to, you said? Or just
could be Whitney Houston.
Like what I really remember, like what stood out early. I'm trying to think. I can think of 1,000 songs, but I'm trying to think of what would be the earliest. Because the first thing I'm thinking of is like the Gap Band, and I'm thinking of it because
That's good. That makes sense in context to how I know you. So you mean? Uh-oh. Pay your bill, girl. Where's your Wi-Fi? We might have to. I'm going to give it 2 more seconds, then I'm going to hang up and do it again.
No.
Oh, okay, good.
To be safe here.
Girl, pay your bill. Just fix your Wi-Fi.
Shut up.
Erica said Anita Baker. She's answering for you, by the way.
Who?
Erica said Anita Baker. She's answering for you.
Erica, really, you need to pull yourself together.
I know. Quit micromanaging. But I said before you got cut off, the Gap Band. Knowing you how I know you, that makes sense to me. Actually, I understand that. I get that. So, and it's just about you answer the question. What you remember, and that's good. Don't overthink it.
I'm trying to think that my earliest, but it would be Anita Baker or it would be Gap Band. It's really just whatever. Those are the big ones. My huge one was Patti LaBelle. I was just posting her today. I was watching her all morning, and she just was my whole everything. But no, here's the real deal. Just remembered. So what it really was probably would be the earliest, because it was going on before I was born, would have been that my uncles used to manage this gospel group in Georgia, and they used to practice in our grandmother's basement. And that was the woman. It was a family band, and the woman that was the lead, the wife, that was the woman whose voice I wanted.
Got it.
Before I knew that I wanted a voice. So that would have been actually the first. That would have been the first, because that makes sense.
Did you want to be a singer when you were young? Like, yes or no? Kind of like the back of your head, if you're too shy to say it, did you want to be a singer?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's okay.
Thought about it really.
Yeah.
I did sing, but everybody that I grew up with sang. Like my name, we grew up, on the same block, and we were, together all the time. She could sing. Like, her voice was beautiful. I never thought about it as like a thing.
Got it. I understand.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a couple other questions that I don't want you to overthink. I just want to answer. So, okay.
I'm going too slow. I'm taking too long.
No. I know you, and I love you. So, what's the first music video that you remember?
I hate you for. It was either like De La Soul or whoever was at the same time. Tribe Called
Quest. And what's the first concert you went to?
Huh?
First concert.
Mickey Howard.
Oh, amazing. Great one.
Cried.
And then,
cried.
Is there a movie from your childhood that either you want to emulate or you really connected with, or, like Mahogany? It could be Mahogany, it could be Purple, like mine is Purple Rain. I'd say Flashdance. I saw Flashdance when I was young, and I thought she lived in New York. That's why I wanted to move to New York. Is there any movies that kind of influenced you that way?
That way.
Fame, any of those movies.
A movie that influenced me, certainly. I remember Purple Rain because we weren't allowed to watch it.
None of us were. Yeah. Please, I'm like, I snuck in the movie theater. That's like, I went to see the kid movie and snuck out of the theater and went into Purple Rain next door. So
we went to I was at a party, like at a family's house, and all the kids left the party and went next door to other people's house and watched it.
Bad kids, is it? Bad DC kids, you mean?
Yes. That was something, but I really liked shit like The Sound of Music.
Good. No, good. Great. I can see that. It makes sense. It all makes sense. You know what I mean? And then another thing that I just think is interesting in these younger time is, how were you getting your information? Was it like, you said, the radio? Was it like MTV? Was it magazines? Like, where were you getting your information from?
My music and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, radio, and
isn't it interesting that like radio played such a key role in all of our lives,
Huge.
I think I forget about, as we get older, we forget, but radio was so important to us, you mean? So informative, just so informative musically and creatively.
Yeah, and then, I guess then, yes, MTV was pretty big.
Yeah, I agree. For me, it was.
Pretty, I mean, it wasn't everything, but it was pretty big for me.
Because they were only playing a very few black artists, and it was not diverse, but it was also informative, you mean? So we got to see Michael Jackson and Prince and stuff for the first time, so.
Did you have Friday night? What was it? Friday night? What was the video show?
Was it the New York one? The New York one?
Friday Night Videos.
Oh yeah, yeah. We had New York Hot Tracks in Detroit. Did you have that one?
No, Hot Tracks. No.
Yeah, Hot Tracks. Yeah, it was basically the same thing, and it was on Saturday night. I used to love that one.
No. Friday Night Video. That's where I saw all the Michael Jackson videos.
Yeah. They used to play Thriller on MTV every hour on the hour, and I used to watch it before I went to school, so my mom got rid of MTV. I'd be like late for school because I was watching it Michael Jackson. And then, was there anybody that you looked up to at that time or kind of inspired you? Could be a family member, could be Diana Ross, could be whoever. You mean, who really inspired you think, during those adolescent years?
Inspired me just in general?
Yeah, could be someone someone you didn't know, could be a man, doesn't,
I don't know. I was pretty like, my whole thing was my family when I was,
okay, so you become an adult and you moved to New York. When did you move to New York? What year?
17.
So you were 17? Amazing. I didn't know that. I moved there when I was 18.
Yeah, 17. I went to Fordham University.
Amazing. You went there for school?
Yeah, I went to Lincoln Center. I stayed on the Lincoln Center,
Amazing. And what was I would say that first, okay, so after you you stayed on campus, and then that first year out of college, how was that first year like? Because New York, that first year, I say you learn everything you need to learn. You mean?
Yeah, my first year out of college, at first I thought I was going to teach. I was going to try to teach because I liked school. So I was like, ooh, I'll just stay in school. And then I was like, oh, no, I'm not going to stay in school. Oh, maybe I should teach. Then I found out that was a horrible idea. And then I basically went home for a couple of months, and then I moved to Flatbush.
Okay.
And my best friend's aunt had a place, and she let me stay there. And I worked on Adelphi at fucking Brooklyn Mod or whatever for a while. And that's what I started. That's what I was doing.
And did you like New York? Like, were you in love with New York?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Was inspired by New York when I was a kid.
Me too. I was walking down the street in New York inspired me. Literally walking down the street.
Yeah, I went to New York for like a trip with like a family friend with the kids. Maybe they took the kids to do something in New York, and I was hooked from that point. I mean, I had to be like 11 or something, and I went to New York, and I was like, yes, I'm coming back.
Yes, I agree. It's addictive. What's addictive for certain people? For certain people, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. Other people, they like cannot. They get there and
Yeah.
they're like,
Like, no way. Yeah, no. I came on the 4th of July weekend. Me and a friend, we came on the 4th of July weekend, and I moved, and I was 17, and I lived there 6 months later. I got my first job at the Limelight nightclub within 6 months. I was like, I knew I was coming back though. I think it came September, so, but I knew it. You know. And then, okay, so those first years in New York, you're living in Brooklyn. You start to probably then dabble in music, I assume, right? Yeah. And
college.
what was like your first gig?
My first gig was singing backup to Marcali.
Oh, amazing.
In New York, at like Brownies. Because that was like, I was fully in the Black Rock, coalition scene and singing at like Brownies and Knitting Factory and CBGBs and stuff like that. That was my first.
Yeah, some people never performed at CBGB. Some people did, but some people never got the opportunity. So that's great. You mean so?
Yeah, it's crazy that's crazy that they would let that go.
Well, I mean, it's New York. New York is always, New York is always moving. But like, the fact that you'll be able to say, to your grandkids that you perform at CBGBs is a really amazing thing. So, okay, so now let's talk about you. So, I've been very vocal about it. You're one of my favorite singers, as you know. You have one of the most beautiful voices. I mean, I tell everyone all the time. I say it all the time. Luke James, Alice Smith are my two favorite singers. So, your voice is so amazing and powerful and unique, and your performance is something that I've never, ever, ever experienced. And I've seen, I love seeing live shows. It's my favorite thing to do is see live shows. Number one thing to do is see live shows. And I've seen, a year I probably see, 200 live shows a year by choice. I love it. Or 150, I don't know. I see a lot, as many as I can, and you are one of my favorite live shows to see, period. Like I've seen you probably 25 times at least now, so. But, I really want to, really express how amazingly talented you are. And you're a total powerhouse. I mean, there's something so special and unique about you. And so you said your first gig was backup, but what was your first big gig, you think?
First big gig?
Yeah.
What big? I was going to say Black Girls Rock because that's the first televised thing I did.
Got it. What year was that?
Huh?
And what year was that? Black Girls Rock, like 2008 or something, right? No, more?
Like 12 or 13.
Oh, 12, okay. I've seen it. I just can't remember the date. Okay.
Yeah,
and so was that moment kind of like, when was the first moment you realized you had something special?
That was probably a few years after I started taking lessons, which I started doing, after the fact. So when I first started to actually like my voice, it took a long time to get there. So that's when I realized. Yeah,
like, again, your live performance is, like I said, so unique and so amazing. But I don't get the fact that, some people like, if you watch let's say Madonna, who I love, a Madonna show, it's all about Madonna. I mean, yours is about your voice. I mean, you're gorgeous, you're, could be a model and all these things, but yours is about your actual instrument, your voice, which is so interesting, your live show. And there's so much power coming through, like, your voice, that's really, a lot of it is, it's coming through you as opposed to about you. I mean, that's my thing. So, and I get that from you, so.
I fully agree because for such a long time, I really didn't know what I was doing. And I was like out of the way of it because on the one hand, I was kind of in the way because I didn't exactly know what I was doing. But when
maybe in the way in one way, so.
The way in one way, but out of the way completely in another. Now I'm completely out of the way when it comes to, but and so I do think it's a lot. It's better and better because of that.
Well, like another question, and I've always wondered this about you. Like, when I watch you live, which I suggest every single person watching this right now goes and sees you live. I say that every time, please. do it for yourself, not for Alice or because I said do it for yourself. Trust me. But I always feel like, are you kind of conscious of what you're doing, or is it kind of like an out of body experience?
It's the setup is conscious, and then
Yep.
the release.
Yeah, because to me, you kind of are probably even out of it, and you're like, you could probably even look at yourself doing it. It's like because it feels like almost an out of body experience, and it resonates to the audience. You mean so?
It doesn't feel out of body to me. I mean, there's set moments where it is, but it's definitely focus, and so in that way, it is out of body because it's real focus, which is
no, your live performances are like nothing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I basically get the chills the entire time. It's like that kind of thing. So, okay, and then so do you remember when we met? Like, what's your first recollection of me?
My first recollection of you is Erica telling me about you, I believe.
Shout out to Erica, first of all.
Shut up, Erica. Don't respond.
My first visual of you was at Essence. You performed at one of the Black Women in Hollywood brunches.
What? Oh, yeah. In New Orleans?
No, here it was in LA. It was a brunch. Oprah was there, people like that,
At Essence?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that was I remember.
That was my first visual. You know me.
That day.
What?
She hugged me.
Yeah, of course. Everyone hugged you. You were amazing.
Got off this. I sang. I got off the stage. I go backstage. I'm loud and raunchy. Alice. Oh, what the fuck? When are we gonna get the fuck out of here? And Oprah's like, Alice. And then she hugged me.
Good. That's so funny. No, you're very that. You're very Steven Spielberg is flying me to his private, thing right now. You're very under the radar / above the radar. You're very, that. You mean?
Yeah, it's interesting.
But that was my first visual of you, and of course, amazing and blown away. And what I like, especially when it's a singer or people in general, if I appreciate what they do, I always make a point to say it. I went up to you and was like, "You're amazing," blah blah blah. And then that's I think the first time we spoke, and then I think the next time we started, we just kind of clicked and became friends. I think because of Erica probably pushing it, but you mean?
Yeah, well, she didn't have to push it, but she definitely. I remember.
I know, right? She's like, be friends.
I'm not good at chronology, but I do remember that was a moment. She was like, "No, I just met this guy."
So let's talk about the Prince thing. So Prince, he covered your song, right?
Yeah, he put Another Love on his last album.
And that's the song that you wrote and performed, or just wrote?
Yeah, I wrote it. It's on my album.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so how did that come about?
He called me. His lawyer called me, a lady, and she said she was his lawyer, and then she said basically, I guess she said he was interested in the song, he'd like to record it. To which, of course, I said, okay. And then they paid me to do it. He paid me for it, which was crazy to me. I always tell people that, and then people are like, yeah, of course. And I'm like, no, not of course. Like he could have said, I'm gonna redo your song. And I'd have been like,
yeah, you're like, okay, yeah, exactly.
Do whatever you fucking want. I don't care.
Like, yeah, sing it backwards. I don't care.
Right. And then I wrote it with a couple people, and I wrote it with Sai, who I did, and Rebecca Jordan, that I made that album, the She album with. And I think when he called me, he thought I had done it by myself, and so he offered me a certain amount of money, and then it became a conversation because they were like, bah, 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 bah. Well, not they, just. So it was a thing, and it was just funny because I was like, yo, it doesn't matter. He doesn't even have to I don't care about the money at all. And,
yeah.
And so that happened, and then they called me and they were like, oh, Prince would like for you to come. Do you remember I know you remember when Prince did that show?
I was there.
Yeah, at, what is it?
City Winery.
And he called me. He didn't call me. They called me, and and I went, and I had the rehearsal, and it was crazy. It was amazing. Really, really kind of, that was more out of body than.
Because, I was around Prince during those same times, and it's like, because it's more tangible. A lawyer calling you because they want to buy your song is flattering and amazing and like a pat on the back of you doing great, but there's no contact with Prince. This is like directly performing on stage with Prince, his direction, all that stuff, so.
Sitting back behind that a little tiny room and side stage and sitting in a chair and look and having somebody tap your shoulder and being like, it's Prince. And like, I literally, me and him is like, I jumped on him as if we knew each other for a long time.
You probably have a foot on him. You probably have a real foot on him, you mean?
Good foot. And it was, and then he sat on the floor. And then, because I, of course, was like, can I give you my seat? He was like, what the? No, I don't want your fucking seat. He sat on the floor next to me. And he played his guitar on the stage while everybody was. I still, thinking about it, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was a special time, though. That time in general was a really special time, I feel like, with him, with stuff. I feel like, he had a lot of really good creative people, including you and me and Luke James, all these people around him at that time. That was a really good time. I think so.
Yeah.
I have a funny story. He came to Chateau. He was coming to my party, my name DJ Rashida's party in LA a lot. And they would always call. They'd always say he's coming. We'd set up this table, whatever. One day he just showed up, and it was a packed party. So I was standing here. Marsha Ambrosia was sitting on what would be my table right here. So Prince is standing here. There's literally nowhere for him to sit. Like, it's too packed, and they didn't think they were coming. So I look at Marsha. I show Prince. She bolted up to get up, and Prince went like boom, boom, right in the seat. She was like you're saying, by all, please, I'd be my honor to get up to let Prince sit. You mean? So,
but listen, do you want my seat?
You want to sit? You want me to hold you? Like what? Whatever it is. Yeah, I get it. No, it's really special, and you should. I think that sometimes all of our lives move so quickly, and these things happen to us, and we don't really take the time to appreciate them. If anything, that's what this time has given us the moment to appreciate these amazing things that we've experienced, and we move in such fast time that we don't actually take the time to say, wow, that's an amazing. Like, again, CBGBs and Prince. Those are two amazing things you can tell your grandchildren. You mean so?
I sang at a tribute with Quincy Jones one time. That was amazing. That was when I stood backstage with Patti LaBelle the second time. And the first time I met Patti LaBelle, I was like, ran out the room. Like, that one, she really got me, messed me up a little bit.
She's great, though. She's sweet.
Yeah. She was like, do you sing like I do? Because don't you know Jill Newman in New York?
I don't think so. Jill Newman, you said?
Jill Newman. She introduced me to her, and she was like, told her I was a singer. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
You are a singer. You are a singer.
But why? Like, I was completely blown. And she was like, oh, do you sing like me? I was like, no, ma'am. I shut it down.
That's like Whitney Houston be like, do you sing like me? No. You're like,
baby. No,
she's cool. She's fun. She came to Khaleesi's album release party years ago. She came and stood and hung out the whole night. She's, she was not young at the time. She had fun.
For fun.
She lives in DC, I think, or Philadelphia. Okay, so let me ask another question. So I have witnessed you many times do this. Erica, who's on here, will contest. You are an absolute powerhouse, but you're so low-key about it. We all know that. It's part of your charm. So I've seen kind of these jam sessions where it'll be major celebrities that are, very well-known, famous singers, and you come all nonchalant and blow the roof off the house. Yeah. So do you know you're doing that, or is that just, I know it's like, I've seen it, and I'm obsessed with watching it because you're just, just kind of mosey on up to the mic, with your flats on and whatever, and you will tear the roof off. And again, I think it's coming through you. It's not coming, it's like you are the vessel in a lot of ways. And a lot of singers aren't like that. So that's one of your many talents, I think, is that you allow it to come through you. But when, in those kind of settings, let's say it's 6 singers in a jam session situation, are you competitive in that? Because singers are naturally competitive, and they want to outshine each other. But I don't get that from you, but you do it. Anyway, you naturally do it.
Certainly especially when it comes to singing, I have no competitive moments.
Got it.
I'm not super competitive anyway. Yeah, extra. So no, I'm not competitive, but I do get excited and I do have fun, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know a lot of singers. I know some, I know like Estelle, RC, and I know some singers, but I don't know, I probably like 2 or 3. Like I don't somehow I don't know why I don't know any singers.
Well, there's a purity to all of that, which I think, I know lots of singers, as you know, I know a lot. But my thing is, there's an artistry to not being in the mix. To being out of the mix is where I think real art comes from. So if you're in the mix too much, you have too many influences around. It's kind of like the equivalent to looking at Instagram and then trying to write an album. No, you got to block your head off. So when you're in the mix too much, I feel like you have too many outside influences. So I know a lot of, I know other people that are like you. I think you kind of always keep it a step back so that you can stay focused on you and your art, which is a true artist to me. So.
Never really been super social, so
Well, you're fun. You are fun. I've had many. Yeah.
Well, but I'm not super social. I don't really need. I'm more of an introvert, so I get all my stuff from in here. So, but I don't think about it like, oh, I'm about to kill them.
Yeah.
No, I just think I'm usually more like, don't fuck it up, Alice, please, for God's sake, because I'm just not very studious about it. And I know that people really spend time and rehearse and stuff, and I'm working on that, but I've never been that, so I have a certain insecurity because I know that the effort is not the same. And, yeah, so yeah, I don't have the competitive part. I just feel like if I get off the stage and I didn't fuck up a note.
Yeah, but I have seen you. Like I said, it'll be a plethora of different singers, and you will tear the roof off, girl. And just walk off the stage. Like it is an amazing thing, and I can't say it enough. You're an amazing artist. Okay, so who are some of your favorite singers? You said Patti LaBelle. Just in general, like of all time, Prince, Patti LaBelle. Who do you love?
Prince, Patti LaBelle, Anita Baker, Nina Simone. I love Bjork.
Yep, me too.
Let's just say singers. We're just talking about the singing part, the voice itself, right? So, Of course, well, no, not exactly. But Stevie Wonder is a big one. We could do a whole long list. Charlie Wilson is
amazing. I agree.
I love Frank Ocean. I love who do I? What's the little guy's name that I love? I don't know. James Blake. I love.
Yeah.
That I love, not James Blake, the other one. Yeah, Daniel Caesar. And I love her. Now let me just say, I been loving. Who's my girl that I love right now? Leanne.
Who?
Leanne LaHavis.
Oh yeah, Leanne's amazing. I love Leanne. Yeah.
I didn't know. Put it like that.
Well, she's
did this last song that she did killed me. The Bittersweet.
No, she's been consistently amazing for since I've known her. But she's another one. She stays a little out of the spotlight. I think by choice. But amazing artist.
Oh, she's her voice is the voice is ridiculous.
She's another fun one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, she's fun. I met her once. She was real fun.
She's hilarious. Yeah, I love her. Shout out to her actually too. Prince and her got close to her at the same time. Okay, so let me ask you a question. What are you grateful?
Regina, Martinelli, all my Seu Jorge. Oh my God. Yeah, all the Brazilians stuff. That's dope. I think Seu is in LA now.
Who?
Seu Jorge. The guy who did the Life Aquatic and all that.
I like King. The group King?
Oh, yeah.
They're another one. They don't get a lot of play. I love them. They're amazing, too. You know what I mean? So.
Open for me a couple times, or at least once.
Yeah, they're great. Okay, so let me ask you a couple other questions now. What are you grateful? What?
Ask me.
Okay, I thought you were adding more singers. What are you grateful for right now in 2020? Not necessarily specifically because of Corona, but I'm saying at this time in your life, this period in your life, what are you grateful for?
For the power of this year. Super powerful.
Yeah, you're right.
I went away by myself for 3 weeks in January, right for the new year, and I went to Mexico. It was so smart, obviously, now for extra reasons. I really felt ever since then that I've been crushing this year. I still feel that way.
Good.
But also, I'm just really grateful for the ability to see that. That's what I'm really grateful for the ability to be like, sit in the power of what has come to us for this year. Because none of what social, all the social consciousness, like none of this would have happened this way if we weren't in the situation we're in. Like, it just wouldn't. None of this Black Lives Matter and all the everybody's lives matter and all that stuff. None of that would have been happening. You know what I'm saying? And just to say, like, none of that shit is gonna happen. Nobody's making fun of me. None of that is gonna happen if we don't get this president out. But none of those things are going to be like, the priority is getting people to vote right now. That's the big priority.
Yes, for sure.
But so that's what I'm grateful for. I'm really grateful for the power that is. I mean, it's
Yeah, no, it's been a really informative year. I think it's self-informative. I think for me personally. So
Yeah. What did you see? Tell me what you see.
What do I see?
Yeah. What's the big takeaway so far? What do you mean?
For me, I stripped away many things immediately in a good way, and I kind of realized what I need on a basic level in a good way, and I kind of have gotten, not that I was getting far away from who I was, but I got back to the core of who I am in a good way. So
that's like, that's what I was trying to get into when I went away, and I was like, oh, I need to go process. Like, I didn't even really know what that meant when I said that. I just knew it was something, and that's really what it is about. Like, what do you want? What do you really need? Bottom line.
You were doing it before the rest of the world. Always ahead of the curve.
Way too far, child. Because if I could get a little closer to, people are always like, oh, you're ahead of the. No, I don't love that. I don't see how that's. Why is that good? Like, why is it good to be ahead of your time? That doesn't even sound good.
Well, there's like I said earlier, there's a purity in it, and there's an authenticity and an artistry that those things are attached to for sure. That if you're ahead of your time or whatever, that that's a part of it. But if not, you may be. I would say, like, Khalees and I, Khalees is my best friend. I would say we're kind of ahead of our times as well in a lot of ways. I would say we're not in or we're not out. We're neither. Like, I'm never in or out. Like, I'm just me. See what I'm saying? So.
I'm never in or out, because I'm definitely not out, honey. Okay.
That's funny. That's so funny. Sidebar, shout out to Cope. Tell him hi. Is he right there?
He's already gone. He done walked out.
And then, what inspires you at this moment, I guess?
I'm having a hard time.
Yeah.
Organization. I want to be organized a little bit. I'm trying to. Today we went and did some stuff for trying to get some, areas organized in my house, and but just this last week I started with some writing. I haven't been writing at all, and so I just started doing some songwriting, and I was only just moved to do it, so that's good. I didn't make it happen, even though in my mind I kept being like, you need to.
Well, art leads you. You don't lead art. It comes out. Like, you're not in control of it. It can control you in a lot of ways. But I do say, art knows no time. You can't say you want to do it Monday at 8 a.m. It's not going to happen that way. But I believe that artists wear their hearts on their sleeves and they feel things, more than most. So this is heavy on a lot of people, but I believe amazing, beautiful art will come out of this for sure.
Yeah.
I believe that. So.
That's which is why I was like, please, come on, you got to find something. But of course you can't. And then I also had this did you have this weird pressure in the beginning of this whole thing to say, at the end of this, you need to come out, bigger, faster, stronger, on top of the world. I did. I had that for a minute, but I don't have that anymore.
We just gotta survive and thrive. They gotta not put pressure on yourself. Let me ask you another question. So, if you could go to dinner with 4 people, living or alive, living or dead, who would you go to dinner with?
Outside of you and Erica and Clarence and Lula and everybody in my family, everybody I love. If I could go to dinner with, I would totally go with Prince.
Yep, me too.
He's like the only person that when I hear him on the radio, I still feel feelings.
Yep. Well, I'm sorry to cut you off. Hold on. Sorry to cut you off. So I want to, focus on the thing that, Prince is probably one of the best musicians and songwriters of the last century, realistically. And so he liked a song that you wrote and decided to record himself. So I want you to kind of sit in that and be like, that, and then he asked you to perform with him, so so I really want that to, you said you heard about the radio and you get emotional. So that person that is probably honestly in the, in my opinion, the top 5 musician and songwriters of the past century, liked the song that you wrote. So really sit on that. But anyway, keep going. Keep going with your dinner guests, your dinner party.
So I feel that about him, and I do feel when I hear him, and if I sing his stuff. What did I sing? What Prince songs I did? I'm doing the little streams or whatever, themed streams, and I did him, and I did Baby I'm a Star, which is like my, and I
love that song.
In a different way, and I was so grateful. And I sing it and I say, I really think you will like it. So what I'm saying is, one thing with music, for a long time, I never felt like this, but I do feel now, ever since my grandmother passed, that music is an actual place that I can go and connect with things. And I feel that when I hear him on the radio, I feel like he's around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like he's around. Okay, so Prince, Bob Marley. Oh, God. Maybe Aretha Franklin, just because I'm very interested in who she really was, because I think she had a reputation for not being very pleasant. And I'm interested to know what that is.
I also think in a lot of ways she was reserved. There was a part of her that was very reserved as well. She was also not, I think she grew up in the spotlight, but I don't think she loved the spotlight, I think she was an amazing singer and she just knew the spotlight because she'd done it for 50 years. But I don't think she loved the spotlight like other singers do,
Maybe Whitney Houston.
Yeah, Whitney Houston would be fun too. That would be a fun dinner. I want to come.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay, and then also.
But also have James Baldwin there, so we can be.
Yes. Oh yeah, I definitely want to come for sure. I'm sneaking in, crashing that dinner.
Fully fabulous and Phil.
And telling us things. Spitting gems, but getting drunk and having fun the whole night.
That's
dancing a little. Go-going.
Yes, he would totally.
He probably liked go-go too,
That we need some intellectual, because
you're right. Well, Prince and James Baldwin together, I would just be listening the whole time, I'm I
think it would be good.
Okay, so also,
Houston would give Aretha the comfort.
Yes, they would connect. Yes, you're right. I can see Prince and James Baldwin. Bob Marley being kind of mutable, kind of going through different conversations,
Best dinner ever. Oh my God.
And then me and you in the mix. That's fun. What? So, okay, so, you know, none of us are really working right now. What are some ways that we can support you at the moment? It could be you're doing your lives. I don't know if you're still doing them, but, you know, you're selling any merchandise. What are some ways that we can support you right now? People.
Merch. Ooh, go get me a t-shirt. I do have some merch, which is pretty fabulous because I have an artist, Zhao, and I can't think of, out in the back in the garage. Zhao did the artwork, and he's in Brazil. He's so fabulous for the COVID stuff. So I have some of that merch. My girlfriend and I, who's like my old girlfriend, we met on the dance floor. Do you remember Magnum 357 on West?
Of course.
Do you remember? Yes. Okay. So
I forget Shine. Do you remember Shine?
Where's that?
Shine was one block down from Magnum.
On what side? Where?
Right below Canal. So like one block below Magnum.
Oh, maybe yes. Absolutely. Straight on West Broadway? If you went down West Broadway, it was on the left side of the street, just on the other side of Canal. Yes, of course. That's so fabulous. What if we saw each other there?
Probably.
So, oh, I have merch. And then I'm trying to decide, which you can maybe weigh in if you want here or later. You know, I've been doing these theme shows. And I might be doing I was thinking about doing another one, but I was thinking maybe October 1st. I'm trying to figure out the timing. We'll talk about that later.
Okay. You know.
Shirts.
Oh, cute. Really cute. And where can we buy them? Where do we buy them at?
AtlasSmith.com. /shop.
I'll post it tonight, or I'll post on my stories today. So cute. I love it.
Yeah, dope. So anyway, that's all. And then if I do the thing, just come see the show if I do the show.
So you're basically doing live shows, kind of like a concert, a virtual concert you've been doing, right?
Yeah, live stream. They're
great. I love them.
Series. I did one series and another series, and so it's it's like 4. The first one was 5, the second one was 4. So it's like you can buy a little bundle.
Yep.
You know, one at a time, and then there's merch, and then there's meet and greets. I've been doing this really cool thing where you do a meet and greet.
Oh, cool.
Which is
smart,
by the way. Way better. That's Clarence. He's the smart one. But it's way better than in person, because not way better than in person because you're not in person, but when you do it at a show, no matter what you do, it's still going to be rushed, and there's somebody standing over there like waiting, you know what I'm saying?
That's a meet and greet is a great idea. I hadn't heard of that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's like a full conversation.
Have you been watching any of the Instagram lives of like the DJs or anybody else? Have you been watching anything? No? Yeah. I didn't think so. I thought that was a shot in the dark. But that's part of your charm. Your purity.
I have to work so hard to get on Instagram. It's not okay. I'm working on it because I know that it's ridiculous not to do it. But no, I like to watch TV.
Well, then someone asked a question. Oh, that's all right. Okay, so someone asked a question, but I just lost it. Where'd it go? Okay, it says, hi, Alice. Maybe you don't have a ton of singer friends, but it seems you have a lot of visual artist friends. What does collaboration for the art world mean to you? Hold on, there's more of the question. I can't read the rest of the question. What does the collaboration, what does collaboration in the art world mean to you?
Well, collaboration means fun, way funner than by yourself. And if I take it this way, separately, art world means, you know what I love about artists? They really take their shit real serious. And I have a friend who, I asked her one time, I was like, because I'm really interested in the concept of music as a fine art, which is like my whole thing, which it is by definition a fine art. And so I had a conversation with a friend of mine about art and fine art, and I was like, how do you decide if your shit is fine art or, you know? And she was like, well, that's your decision.
Yeah.
Not about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It has nothing, which is amazing. She, of course, was born the day after me. But she was just like, you know, fine art is defined by the artist. So if you think you got fine,
it's like you tell the world you're a fine artist. They don't tell you. You mean so?
that's
I like
amazing.
that. Yeah, I agree. That's great.
Kind of how musicians are, but you know, music is so devalued, especially now. There's just no value. They treat it like it's no value, and it's really hurtful. But um, I think I don't know. You know, you have to certainly in this climate when it comes to music. I mean, I got in the music business. I got one of the last of the old deals, you know, and to come into the music business when I came into it, where people really were starting to, it was starting to be so saturated. It was the very beginning of it being kind of saturated and everybody wanted to do it, and it's just undervalued. But I think that what's interesting about music is the fact that it is so universal. That's what makes that is where the value is, in the fact that you don't have to be nothing, you don't have to know nothing, you know, which, now that I'm saying that, in fine art is the whole thing. Like even with visual art, you don't gotta know. You don't gotta go to school and know the name of this one and that one and this one, and you know what I'm saying, to know that when you see it, you if you feel it.
Well, it's like talent and art. It's inside. I mean, it's inside. You really can't learn art. You know, like, if you can study it and things, but you know, like you can't learn talent. You have it. You know, like you can fine tune it and stuff, but like, you know, it comes from within. You mean so?
Don't got it.
Yeah.
And you can
Like
feel
I can't sing at all.
you can't feel it. That's fine too. You know. So.
Okay, we have 1 minute left. I just want to wrap it up so because it'll hang up on us.
So smart.
I want to thank you so much for doing this. I know you don't. I know you're like probably, you know, it's like pulling teeth doing this kind of stuff. I know,
I'm just honored to be asked.
I love you, and I said I want to celebrate people that are very important to culture. You are one of my favorite singers and artists. I tell you all the time. Seeing you live is an amazing experience for me. So, you know, I want to acknowledge that you give us that when you perform live. We all get something amazing from it. I think every human, I've said a million times, should see you live for themselves, not for me or for you, for themselves, because it's an amazing experience. And you know, what you do is just so special and unique, and I want to celebrate you and support you in any way, and you know that, though, so, you mean.
And I love you, and I appreciate you, and you're so sweet to me all the time. And you look like and then you're so sweet. And so I love you for that. I really do. I love to see you anytime.
I love looking like this, and then being warm and fuzzy, you know, everyone thinks I'm going to be, like, shady when they meet me.
Yes, that's big. That's a thing.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, my darling, I love you. I'll post your shirts and stuff on my IG tonight. I'll help you promote them, and I thank you, and can't wait to do for you to do your shows, and can't wait to see you. So.
Okay, let's talk about later. Let's talk about my theme idea because I gotta.
Okay. Great. All right. Love you. Thank you for doing this. Bye.
Bye.